and welcome to Legal Affairs. My name is Diamond Liddy, and I'm the public defender for the 19th Judicial Circuit. We have some unusual guests today. We have some beautiful ones and some ones that are a little green around the gills, and we're wondering if they're pea green with envy or feeling nauseated. But anyway, I want to introduce our first guest, Debbie Butler. How are you, Debbie?
I'm great, thank you.
And she brought Gus. And Gus, we're going to learn about Gus here in a minute. And he probably won't say too much.
Well,
but
he's pretty good.
Yeah, but as I said, I like the hat, Gus,
Yes.
I have to say. But anyway, Debbie Butler with a program that has been started, and we're going to talk about that. But let's talk about you for a moment.
Okay.
Debbie, what's your background? You know, give us the
How I kind of fell into this?
Yes.
Okay, well, I retired early from a business background, actually international business. The last organization I was with was a startup. It was the second startup that I was involved in, so I was exhausted.
Right.
And my husband and I said, let's just go to Florida. So we were going to, maybe kind of take a break and then decide what we wanted to do. And I learned, again, in my business life, I did not realize there were so many children that were abused and neglected. I had no idea. And I learned about the issues and thought, okay, this is my way to give back. So I started as, for a very short time, as a guardian ad litem.
Right.
Volunteer.
And when did you move to Florida, Deb?
In 2006.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been here 10 years at least.
Yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, right.
Because then I had to learn, if I'd been in Baltimore, Washington, where I came from, the things that I could have been so much farther ahead.
Right.
Because of my relationships there. So, but anyway, so I volunteered as a guardian ad litem and then realized that this was a world I did not know and thought that...
Well, and let's back up for a moment, because most of our, viewers are educated and know what's going on. But some, it doesn't mean they're not educated, but some people are just haven't been exposed, as you had, to some of the things that go on in the world. What exactly is a guardian ad litem? Okay,
a guardian ad litem is a volunteer that is appointed for the best interests of the child. So the guardian
in a courtroom setting?
Yes, exactly. And it's a neutral party, that the guardian ad litem is responsible for learning as much as they can about the case and then representing the best interest of the child. So I did that, and I think I had 7 children that I was advocating for, and I realized that with my business background, I could probably do a lot more for the greater good. So,
and again, let's back up for a moment. With what you did before in court, we're talking about a scenario it's called dependency court,
exactly,
correct? Where children who are abused and neglected, the parents are brought in to find out what the situation is, hopefully get them into some kind of treatment plan or help, so that the families, because there are times that the families are not, the children are actually taken out of the home, correct, Debbie?
Exactly.
And so if they're going to reunite the family with the child, they have to make sure that the family's got it together now.
Exactly.
And there won't be any abuse or neglect. And the guardian, which is what you were doing, kind of is a do you call it a voice for the child?
Yes.
Obviously, you advocate for what's in the best interest. And I've often, and I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I've often wondered this myself on this guardian ad litem job, if you will, or position. You're advocating what's in the best interest of the child, but is it always what the child wants?
No. Well,
Yes.
it may not be. Because it, again, and of course the judge is the one that makes the decision.
I know. You're just a voice, and you advocate a position, and obviously the
Right.
court gives it great weight. But it always, there are times, are there not, that what you are asking the court to do in a situation may not be, well, certainly at times may not be what the parents want.
Exactly.
But obviously at many, are there times that what you're advocating isn't exactly what the child wants, but it's in their best interest?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So go ahead
Right.
now.
Yeah, so anyway, there was a nonprofit called Guardians for New Futures, and a friend of mine who had been a guardian ad litem for, 15 years, I guess, at that point, said, oh, I think you should do this.
Right.
So Guardians for New Futures started, I became the president of the board in 2008, and it really hadn't done much.
Right.
And there were a few women that got together, and when we're on a mission,
Yeah,
right?
of
If we can make
course.
things happen. So since 2008, our mission really is to fund the unfunded needs of abused and neglected children while educating the community on how to better protect children.
Okay.
So we've gone from sort of nobody knowing who we were to now becoming pretty much an advocate for abused and neglected children, and also raising awareness as well as providing educational opportunities for people working with children. So we have sort of three main missions. One is, or initiatives, I should say. We do a child summit in September of every year, which
Okay.
is a 2-day summit, and we're fortunate that we have a wonderful relationship with IRSC.
Right.
So they give us the safety training complex. We had 450 people both days last year, and it involves, law enforcement, clinicians. We always do a drug component because, as you know,
Right.
that's a huge issue. And last year we did trafficking of minors, a presentation on that. We have, and the other one was trending sex crimes because, as you know, that's a huge
Right.
issue as well.
But Deb, before we go into all the things you do, though, let's back up a minute. How does Guardians for New Futures different from a guardian ad litem?
Well, the Guardian ad litem program is a program that is funded by the state and
Right.
the counties.
Right.
And we are not providing services, or we're not in the courts for the children.
Okay.
So we're totally separate from a guardian ad litem.
Okay, so you don't go into court and advocate for the child at all. Okay, so you never go in court?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so do the Guardians for New Futures actually link up with a child?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Ours is just to, our organization is really just to help fund the unfunded needs of abuse and
Such
neglect.
as?
Well, such as holiday gifts during the,
Right.
during the holidays. Sometimes it can be maybe children in DJJ that need help.
Right.
There can be maybe a child needs, well, we started a library in the courthouse in Okeechobee to help, reduce the anxiety of the children when they were in dependency court.
Right.
We've sponsored children that had an opportunity to go to, one child was going to Carnegie Hall with their high school. And our latest initiative to help children is, we're calling it Sanctuary for Kids. When a child is being removed from their house or their
Right.
home due to abuse and neglect, currently there isn't any temporary place for them to go while case managers work to find a safe place for them. So
So where do they go now?
they're either in the car with an investigator or case manager, or they have to go back to the DCF office. Now, a child has already experienced, a great trauma in being removed. So we want to ensure that they have a soft landing when this happens, and that they can go to a place that is child-friendly, and we're looking...
You're talking about it for a few hours.
Yes, it would
Okay.
be like 24 hours or less.
Right.
But only, until they can find a place for the child. And, studies indicate the more trauma a child experiences, the more likely they're going to have mental health issues and substance abuse issues.
Right.
So we feel, and apparently this has been needed for like 10 years. So when we learned about it, that's when we stepped up. I mean, what a great thing for us to be able to provide to these children. And, when you were talking about the public not really knowing about, this subject,
Right.
in our circuit.
Well, I didn't know that there was no place to go in that
Well, a lot of people
few
don't.
hours interim at all. And I'm in the system, so.
Yeah, well, and in Circuit 19, the average number of children that are in dependency court averages between 1,200 and 1,300 kids.
Right.
Now, those are the ones that have been identified as being abused and neglected.
Right.
And as you know,
There's more than that.
Yeah, there's more than that. And I think the last statistics that I heard, 46 children are being removed from their homes every month due to abuse and neglect. So, and that's really another reason why we do the educational component, because as you know, the root of many of these cases
Right.
is substance abuse.
Yeah.
So, and that's what Gus is. Gus is the mascot for the house, and we are kind of we're going to do a campaign like, where's Gus? So
Right.
Gus is, visiting Diamond Liddy to share his story
Yeah, of
about
course.
what he's doing. He's going to IRSC later today to talk to the Human Services Club.
Right.
Because we've raised $191,000 already for the house. So we're pretty
Wow.
close. I just met with Hibiscus to
Right.
see how we can partner.
Well, that was my next question. How are you funded?
We are funded through, and this is, I know nobody's going to believe this, but it's through the community, through foundations, private foundations. We
Right.
don't get any funding from...
The state?
Nope.
The county?
Nope.
Okay.
And-
so it's private donations and foundations.
And one thing that I'm really proud of is since 2008, we have raised about $500,000 in kind,
Right.
and another $500,000 in revenue. So over $1 million to benefit the children in our community, and it all
Wow.
stays in our community. So, yeah.
Incredible.
So, yeah.
Incredible.
And,
No.
just a couple of women, they get together.
Oh no, that's great. Okay, so I interrupted you, and I'm
That's
sorry
okay.
about that. Now, but again, before you go on and all the things that you're doing, so guardian ad litem, a guardian ad litem, or the courts would call you, not to come into court, but if they're aware of you, obviously.
Right.
So if they were,
In need of
something for a child, they would call you and say,
Yes, they can.
Hey, Deb, I'm the guardian for Susie, and she really needs shoes for school or whatever.
And then we can help with that, yes.
Okay. Do they fill out an application? Is it
No, they just email me.
Yeah.
And when we first started in 2008, Guardians for New Futures actually helped the Guardian Ad Litem office and the volunteers, because when the Guardian Ad Litem office didn't have a training center, and again, if you're going to look
Right.
reputable, if you want to pull in the kinds of volunteers that you want, you need to have a training area. So we actually
Right.
bought equipment for that. Put in a flat screen TV, sound system, And then we also helped buy new computers for the guardian ad litem program, laptops, shredders. I can't even remember what else. But again, that was to help them to do more and to gain more volunteers.
Right.
And then,
Well, do you have an office or?
yeah, I'm really lucky. Children's Services Council gives me an office for $1 a year.
Okay. And where is that?
In the Children's Services
okay.
Council in St. Lucie County.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah.
So your office is there, and you have a I mean, if someone, and again, we haven't even gotten into all the stuff you do. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. So if someone needs your services to fund an unfunded need or whatever, there's somebody in they call Guardians for New Futures. There's a phone number, and either you'll answer or somebody will answer.
Yeah, and there's and we have a website and a Facebook page and all that. And I might add, too, that a lot of people don't know this. Everything that we do is volunteer. You know, I'm not paid, but I have dedicated my life pretty much since 2008 to the mission of helping kids, however we can, and to raise awareness. Because, you know, you see this all the time. It breaks your heart when you learn and see the things that happen to children. And, you know, I just was talking to somebody about a grant, a foundation, and I said to them, you know, the public doesn't know. You know, the only thing that you know is something that comes in through a 911 call.
Right, right.
Okay? There are horrific things that are happening that the public doesn't know about.
Well, so if someone gives you $1, the whole $1 will go to the kids.
Yep.
That's tremendous.
Yeah. And
there are minor expenses, but let's say 99 cents will go to the kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because there aren't any salaries, we don't have anyone that's paid. The only thing for us to do all that we do throughout the year, our costs are like less than $10,000.
Right.
So, and that's just for, you know, the website, the phone, you know. So
who are the other women who helped you get this started, Deb?
Oh, okay. One, unfortunately, has passed away. There were 3 of us that started. We have Doris Plem, who is a guardian ad litem and has been for 20-some years.
Right.
And she's very active still as a guardian ad litem and with our board. We have Susan Marino, who's with Career Source. We have Leah Bouchine, who was with Sandy Pines Hospital. We have Elizabeth McKenzie, who is in between positions right now.
Right.
We just had Shanique Maynard join our board, and she's, of course, with the Executive Roundtable in St. Lucie County. We have Esperanza Morales.
From United Way?
Yes.
Yeah.
She just became our treasurer.
Okay.
We have a member from Lisa Rule, who is a member or is a employee of Helping People Succeed. Let's see, who am I missing?
Oh, no. I was just curious, really, who started this other than you.
Actually, it was Doris Plem and I and another woman were kind of the ones that were like, man, we can do more. We can do so much more. And, you know, thankfully we have. And I am personally very blessed to have
the ability to.
Yes. I mean, really.
The freedom to do that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny because my granddaughter Rowan often says, you know, Nana, you're working more or as much as you were when you were doing the startups.
Right.
And you really should be paid. And, you know, I say to her every time, you know what, baby? I'm not paid. So I don't have to worry about the politics. I don't have to worry about somebody firing me. Well, the board could.
Yeah.
And if you take those things out of your position, how fast you can move to make things happen.
Sure. Okay. So we don't run out of time, and we tell the public all the great things you do. So we've got the summit in
September.
What else? Other funding unfunded needs of children that are abused or neglected. Go ahead.
The holiday gift drive, and
Okay.
this year we were able to provide holiday gifts to over 500 kids.
Wow.
Including some kids at DJJ, because those
Right.
children are.
And DJJ is
the juvenile
Department
the Department of Juvenile Justice.
right.
And this was the detention center for those children.
Right. And we want to thank you for that.
It was a pleasure. It was such a pleasure, and I loved Adelia. And fortunately, it was through an email somebody just kind of gave me 2 years ago that said, can you just provide some art supplies for the kids? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
When I realized all of the things that could help them, and we did. We had a carload of
Oh, I know
things.
you did. Well,
it was wonderful.
So the viewers understand the detention center is the place where children are detained when they have gotten into trouble with the law. And they're obviously not, the offenses are not serious enough, or they haven't had so many that they are in the county jail because the prosecutors have what they call direct filed on them as adults, because they feel that they're not children anymore because they're so bad they need to be in adult court. So
Right.
they're in this detention center, and which is juvenile jail,
Right.
basically. But the public defender's office goes out and does a holiday thing for them, because they're our clients, most of them, pretty much every one of them. And then, of course, we get the community support, and of course, you
Yeah.
guys stepped up. And
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I guess, and this is where I kind of tear up, because so often people say, like the kids in DJJ.
Oh, I know.
It's like, well, parents need to get involved more, and we're the parents. And, and people don't realize these
Yeah.
kids, they don't have a parent
Right.
that's going to step up or be a role model. And that's where my heart bleeds for these children, because if we had more people that understood
Right.
that these aren't bad kids, these kids haven't, they don't have people that are taking care of them.
Yeah, we tend, and I say this often, Deb, but we are in our own world. We've grown up with parents who love us.
Yes.
We've grown up, privileged in that we can go to nice schools and wear clothes that fit and
Have dental work.
Have dental work and get our eyes checked and all of those things. And obviously as the support system from our family. But, there's so many, and that doesn't mean they should be allowed then to
Right.
rape, pillage,
Right,
murder,
exactly.
burglarize, whatever. We're not saying that as a
Right.
society. What we're saying is let's at least try to make a difference, to do something in these children's lives to turn them around. And we may not be able to do that
Right.
in every case. And but I'm like you, Deb. I mean, I get aggravated, with people who say, right. Why are we wasting our time? These kids are bad. They need to be in jail. They need to be punished. As public defender, say it up front and personal. I believe in punishment. You do something wrong, there should be consequences.
Right.
Always, always, always. But that doesn't mean, you just say, I've given up on them. They're bad, forget about them.
Right.
How many of us have done,
Crazy stuff?
crazy
Yeah.
stuff, things that we hope nobody ever finds out about?
Right.
That if people didn't give us a chance, if they didn't believe in us, if they didn't take our hands and guide us
Right.
somewhat, we who knows where we all would be.
Exactly.
And
that's one of the reasons that I am and our board is so passionate about this house that we're calling Sanctuary for Kids, because we believe that, again, this child's being removed from who knows.
Right.
And if if they're coming into a place, this soft landing, while they're trying to find a safe place for them, this could be a defining moment for the child. This might be the first time the child's had a full stomach or a clean bed or,
I did not. I am shocked and appalled. I hate to use that term, but I did not realize that there wasn't an interim place for a few hours, that they'd go back to Department of Children and Families or sit in a car until...
Right, and this is not, to...
Until they're placed in foster care.
Right.
I mean, that's the other thing, and I'm sorry.
No.
But people need to understand, when they're taken out of the home because they've been abused or neglected, and it's so bad, because it's got to be real bad for them to remove her from the house, and then what they have to do is put them in foster care until the parents get their act together or whatever. So, I mean, this isn't, the next step is not a good thing. So if you've got this interim that's bad too, oh my goodness.
Right. So, and again, this house would be, staffed with professionals that know how to deal with trauma and that kind of thing. And, it can be a great distraction, a loving distraction for those children. They can play, they can watch a movie, they can drive Gus's little car around. I mean, there's all kinds of things that they could do while case managers are working to find them a safe place or a relative to stay with, whatever. But again, by doing that, we're not re-traumatizing these children. This is an opportunity for them to even be loved.
And we're almost out of time. We've got like a minute left. When do you hope to open this, and where can people send money if they want to help you?
They can go to our website, which is GFNFforkids.org. And there's information about Sanctuary for Kids, also about all the things that we do. And they can call me on my cell, which is 772-359-2824. Like I said, we've raised $191,000 already. To purchase the house, we only need about $300,000. So we're really close.
You are wonderfully optimistic.
We only started our financial campaign in November.
Oh, well, then you're going to do it.
You're
going to do it.
We are.
Okay, we're about out of time. Let's look at Gus. Let's talk about Gus a second.
Okay.
And where is he going to be? He goes with you everywhere then.
Yeah, this is his first appearance.
A TV appearance. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's so he's going to IRSC this afternoon, and he's going to be once we have the house, he will be living in the house and be the mascot for the house.
Oh, that is wonderful. Okay, well, Deb, you keep up the great work. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
No doubt you'll do it.
We will. We will. Thank you.
Thank you.